Hello, so I'm gonna answer the questions for Activity 5 about the movie Outsourced. So there were different cultural shocks for Todd, who was the main character, um, when he arrived to India. The first that was he was surprised about the traffic and the high population density. He also struggled with the food because he was not used to eating with his hands and the level of spice in the Indian cuisine. So, another major cultural shock is the emphasis on personal relationships at work because in the US, the professionalism and efficiency comes first, and then comes the connections with the co-workers. But in India, the connections and the trusting, it was first for them. And he also found um, marriage that were arranged. He found it very strange because it was not common on the American culture. So his Indian co-workers also experienced cultural shocks when interacting with Todd. They find his strict work ethic unusual because they were more um, used to relaxed uh, situationships. They also notice that he prefers being individual than working as a group. And for them, it was very strange because they like to work in teams. And at work, Todd faces several problems, struggling with language barriers and communication, especially when the workers have difficulty pronouncing the American names correctly. The slow internet and frequent outages make his job even more frustrating. And also, he has trouble earning the respect of his employees because he does not initially try to understand their culture. So Todd, as I said, he's very individual. He likes to work by himself, and in India they were not respecting that he was working like that because they wanted him to be more involved. Despite his mistakes, Todd also does some things right. He eventually embraces Indian culture and builds stronger relationships with his co-workers. He then adapts at his training methods to better suit them and helps them improving in their working condition. He also learns from Asha, one of his employees, and starts seeing things different from a different perspective. And one of the festivals Todd is unaware of his Holi, the festival of colors. At first, he's confused and uncomfortable with the idea of getting covered in colored powder, but later he joins and enjoys it. And another festival that he does not understand was the Kali Puja, which honors the goddess Kali. Something that impressed me about India in the movie is how warm and welcoming the people are. Despite the challenges they face, they have a strong sense of community. The tradition, the festivals are very colorful, full of energy, and the people are very adaptable and hardworking. I think that um, is something very common also in Mexico because we have the like not the same culture but very um, like we are very adaptable. We like to work, we like to be very social, we like to yeah, work in teams. We have many festivals. um, we have more days off here in Mexico than in America, or the US. Sorry. Like, we're very Catholic, very traditional about the God that we trust, that is God. That most of us Mexicans are Catholic, and we have like the be the Virgin Mary, like the day of the Virgin Mary. We we are very not we do not have the same festivals as India, but we do have our own culture that is more Catholic and more heartwarming. I don't know how to say it. So, if I had the opportunity, I would love to visit India, at least for a vacation. The movie showcased a vibrant culture, a delicious food, and beautiful traditions because I would like to experience it in person. Um, I find it interesting, the Indian English, because it has a unique accent and expressions influenced by local languages and British English. In the movie, we see how pronunciation and certain phrases lead to misunderstandings, but overall, it is clear and effective way of communication. I mean, we all have our accent. We sometimes do not understand the same humor in English or in Indian as we have. Like, if I don't understand because it's my second language, they wouldn't understand it because it is not their first language. We tend to misunderstood when it's not our first language. And for the ending of the movie, I would have liked that to for Todd to stay in India longer, or maybe start a new company there, because his transformation was great. Um, but I was also disappointed because when he was adapting, he left. So a more open-ended ending where he finds a way to continue working in India, but not in India, but like what he learned to apply it like in America or something like that. So if I was in his place, I would have done something different. I would have been more patient and more open-minded, and also like to have more empathy from the beginning. But I think he didn't have that in his head, or he wasn't open minded, because I think most Americans are very cold. Like, they think very cold, they think with their head and not with their heart. So I think they are very like closed in that, in their feelings, or in putting themselves in another one or another shoes. um I would have tried to learn a few Hindi phrases to communicate better with my team. I would also have focused on creating a work environment that balances the efficiency and the cultural values. And overall, outsource the movie. It was a great movie. It highlights the cultural differences, personal growth, and the importance of understanding others. So I liked it very much. Um, we all have different cultures, we all have different values, but it is important to be very empathic with someone that does not understand. Um, yeah, like, thinking about it, not many people understand us. So being very open-minded, because if they don't understand, they don't they do not understand me. Maybe I do not understand them. So working both ways. Yeah. Thank you.